Black Blaze. Yeah. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. He was a young nigga, a victim of a hate crime. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. He was a young nigga, a victim of a hate crime. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. He was a young nigga, a victim of a hate crime. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. He was a young nigga, a victim of a hate crime. Took his money, beat his ass at the same time. No one knows why it had to be this way. Now ask yourself, would it happen if he was straight? He came out to his parents, then got kicked out the crib. That's right. Not knowing where they go, he started walking the strip. That's right. His parents in the house, mad as hell at the thought. They won't dead face their families cause of the troubles it brought. Now it's raining, the night is old and it's cold as hell. Walking alone, shivering like a ghost from hell. He started walking through the alley in search of shelter. It was 1 in the morning. He should've known better. He met a girl in the alley. She had a cute face, she said, what's the matter, honey? Was with the long face, he said, you wouldn't understand, and started walking away. She grabbed him by his shoulder and said, try me. He blank stared for a second, then broke down on some story. She said, I understand completely, and started telling her story. He said, sorry, didn't know. She said, most people don't. People don't know me, and yet they still judge me. A few hours passed, they became the best of friends. But the story isn't over, not even close to the end. Again, they started walking through the alley, talking about life. They got to the corner, some dude jumped out with a knife. Said, we despise homos, took his cash and his life. He could hear his music from his blood as he ran through the night. The girl stood in shock, then screamed for her life. Ain't had a clue what to do, but get the hell out of sight. She took off through the alley, and they started to chase her. Finally caught up with her, then attempted to rape her. The girl was found beaten within an inch of her life. Ambulances rushing to the scene of the crime. What happened? Nobody knows, nobody cares. Standing in a circle, people point and stare. Finally got to the hospital, where she slipped in a coma. She had blows to her head that had caused severe trauma. 2 more hours passed and her condition has worsened. The doctor said, this is it, and closed the whole curtain. Her machine started crashing, she was slipping away. They tried to resuscitate, but her heart wouldn't take. 15 minutes passed, she was pronounced brain dead. And even worse, the doctor told police she was pregnant. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. They took her money, tried to rape her at the same time. No one knows why it had to be this way. I pray to God that he takes her pain away. She was a young woman, a victim of a hate crime. They took her money, tried to rape her at the same time. No one knows why it had to be this way. I pray to God that this world could be a better place. A young woman, a victim of a hate crime. Now listen to her music as her soul fades away. Now the police had questions. What was her name? How old she was? Where did she hang? A damn shame. You said she was pregnant. How far along was she? The doctor said 7 months. We took the baby. However, she was a cop. The police were in shock. Her badge was in her pocket. No identification. One of the cops ran to her room. The other shook his head with grief. OMG, he said, this can't be. The cop got to the room, pulled back the covers and saw her. Started crying hysterically cause that was his daughter. 2 hours passed. Her dad is crazy as a nut. But you would be too if you lost your flesh and blood. Went back to the scene looking for the man that did this to her. They found him along with the boy that was hanging with her. They didn't know they was cops. They tried to approach him and rob him. They said we kill you like we did that faggot and that girl that was with him. Well, needless to say, the dad was pretty mad, and before you knew it, them boys is dead. Pop, pop, pop. But not before they knew who he was. He stared in their eyes, then released the slug. They went back to the boy's house and showed his picture to his parents. Is this your son, mister? He took a look and spit on the picture. They returned to the hospital to see his daughter. Tested the spit on the picture from the young boy's father. If you find anything, I want to know right away. A few hours later, the doctor said, this ain't the first time we saw her. We think he's the father of your daughter's baby. She was raped. too.
Now the father had blood in his eyes.
Yeah.
I'm talking bloodshot red, and not from the crime,
That's
but
right.
this man was homicidal. Who would have thought that he would be mad over the slaughter of his daughter?
Yeah.
Here come reporters, they got the cameras in his face. That blinding light, it's enough to get you maced or punched in the face. He tried to walk by, he's getting bushy with questions. No comments, he replied. Images of his recollection was eating him up inside. Subdued by the conversation going on in his mind. Trying to come to the realization his only daughter died. That's the mission accumulation of grief of beside him. Yeah, his heart filled with hatred. 2 shots away from asylum, but you can tell him nothing. So be down or be silent. He left the hospital, went to the boy's house looking for his father. Knocked on the door, nobody bothered to answer. He knocked again, boom, boom, boom. Lights came on in the kitchen. A woman came to the door, the knob was slowly turning. The cop on the other side, his finger on the trigger, every inch it turned. His eyes was getting bigger. Now listen to his music as you try to feel the picture. Yeah, the door slowly opened, his heart beating with anticipation. Pulled the trigger a little tighter, but didn't release information. Creak, click, creak. The door finally opened, and to his surprise, it was the young boy's mother that happened to be his ex-wife. The cop said Susan, and Susan said Bruce. They both stood there for a second, looking shocked and confused. Back to reality, Bruce proceeded to talk. You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here. I can't explain. Don't wanna hear, looking for the man that you live with. Please let me explain. There's nothing you can say to make me help you. Interrupted by staring the man that was living with her. Susan said, how was Jessica? Bruce just stared at her, pointed his gun and said, why don't you ask him? He was the one that raped her. For sure. Well, Susan was in shock, like she didn't believe. But in the back of her mind, she knows he wouldn't lie for no reason. Bruce inches his way in, getting closer and closer to stand. Put the barrel to his head and said, this is for Jess. That's when Sean busted and said, Bruce, put the gun down.
Oh no, Jesus. Oh no, Jesus.
You don't want to do this.
Jesus.
Put it down, Bruce.
Oh, save her, Jesus. Oh, save her, Jesus. Please.
Now pitch that music as his heart starts to pound.
Please help her, Jesus. Yeah.
Looking toward his right, Sean said Susan. Susan said, Sean, please stop him. I love him. You love him. After what he did to our daughter, woman, please. He even more crazier than I thought. Step aside, close your eyes. It's about to get messy. Suicide by a cop is what I put in my report. Our daughter is dead. Clothes were bloody, and when they found her, she barely had a pulse. Bruce, let's go. Susan's eyes got bigger, filled up with water like buckets. Dead? What do you mean dead? Please tell me you're joking. Do it look like I'm joking? Why would anyone, Bruce? I know it's hard, but this ain't the way to go. Then Bruce said, Sean, how did you know I was here? He said it wasn't hard. I've been your partner for years. Before then, we used to play cops as kids. I was a crook, he was the cop, and vice versa, non-stop. Pointed his Glock at Bruce, then said, right now I'm the cop. Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Put it down. Bruce, put the gun down. Stands inching his way over closer to his desk. A gun in his drawer, put it behind his back. They all stood there looking at each other. This then shut off the lights, and all of a sudden,
pow.